Greeting fellow Rotarians, I am your president, Michael Nisler. Welcome to the Petaluma Rotary Club, 95 years and cooking, and I am honored to be your president. Welcome to the club. So this being the 6th week of my presidency and still no bell. Very sad. You know, I had the lollipop last weekend. I was in the foo-foo and the wings before. This being the 6 weeks of solidarity for my bell. I get the feeling I get up to 52, somebody's going to bring my bell back to me. But we are ready and going strong today, and we have a big schedule to do. It's great to see so many of you here. We have a wonderful guest coming, and look at this. I've got the sheet. Thank you for the sheet. Really. Okay, so right off the beginning, we're going to do a little bit more of the protocol. I got some feedback last week about, I was kind of had a lot of things to go, a lot of things to cut through, and here we go again. Pass the envelope, please. I have been tempted to get a GoPro camera and be recording to see who gives it to Sean, but I'm kind of getting in the groove of this. This is getting to be fun. I love this. So, okay. Hopefully I don't have a wardrobe malfunction today and I can get my glasses on and off we go. You made us wait. Now, we will make you wait. Oh, you suckers. After careful review of the video footage you conveniently made available, it has been determined that there wasn't enough licks on the lollipop, seriously, to fulfill your last task. In the next meeting on 7/23, you will need to provide your own lollipop. I have my lollipop still, man. I've got my lollipop. I'm going to be using it today, so I'm going to get my 723 obligation done today. So when I'm talking, I'm supposed to be licking, I think is what the thing is. So I hope I'd have to go through the whole thing, but off we go. So thank you for the envelope. Thank you for the jest. And so off we go with the meeting. So first off, we're going to do our club song. And Joanne Ferris, great to have you back here. Would you be so kind as to lead us in our club song? I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a green lumber handler. I'm a chippo from Pelican Bay. So raise up your glasses and have one on me. I'm a fellow you seldom will see. Okay, and followed by God Bless America. And I would be honored if Petaluma Pete, would you lead us in the song for God Bless America? God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the oceans white with gold. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Hey, good job. Even without a piano, doesn't he have a voice? Thank you. The thought for the day, I think we're going to pass on that. I don't see Whit here today, so is he here? Whit, hey, come on down. Colonel Whit, watch your step if you're going around that way. There's some barbed wire and Constantine wire, and good to have you here, my friend.
Now that we have our salute to the flag back, then I want to tell you a great quote from none other than George Washington. So George Washington reminded us to guard against the impostures of pretended patriotism. Thought for the day.
Chip, go ahead and say hi to all of your friends. Give your hugs, and we'll come back in about a minute. All, if you're ready, let's go ahead and please take your seats and continue on. We got a lot of stuff we're going to be talking about today, so here we go. Next up will be members with guests, and I think that Ray is out there somewhere with Brandon. Joanne, would you get the microphone to Brandon? Anybody else, members with guests? I think Ed Fullerton may have somebody. I think Grace will, yes. Okay, well first we'll go ahead with Brandon, and I'll get you, Ann. Yes. There we go.
President Michael, fellow Rotarians, please join me in welcoming Miss Maher Broussard for her third lunch meeting.
Maher Broussard, so awesome. A Rotarian from up north, and we're looking forward to seeing more of here. Stay tuned. Next up.
President Nisler and fellow Rotarians, this is my guest, Kim Schultz.
Kim
Hoping
Schultz.
that she will be a potential member.
Awesome. Well, so glad to have you, Kim Schultz. Thank you for coming. Who else do we have? I think Grace Nisler. Do you have a guest today?
Honey, I am your guest.
Oh, well, yes, you are a special guest, but do you have a doubly special guest, or would you like me to do this? Okay, we have our grandson, Mikey Kayas, and so Mikey is going to be with us for several days. We're going through the grandsons a week, so Mikey, would you stand up and say hi to everybody? Good to have you here. Anybody else, members with guests? Ed Fullerton, where is he? Oh, here he is. Ed Fullerton, please. Do you have a guest today?
Hello, President Nisler, in charge of everything and forgot to pledge. That's all right. We'll let that one go.
I will put in $20.
$20.
I was trying to trim them up at $20 for the pledge. Thank you for
I think it's
bringing
a funny
that
thing.
past district governor.
Where's the sucker?
That's right.
Okay.
I think you know something about
I
this.
don't. I don't. I do know
sucker.
something about this lady right here. She's followed me around for a long time, and I really appreciate it.
My wife, Carol.
Thank you.
Beautiful Carol Fullerton. Thank you so much. Okay, coming up in terms of the schedule, next week we have a face that will not be here after November, but until then, John Brown, I'm sure he's going to come and want to tell us the truthiness about what's going on in our city. So that'll be a great meeting. Don't miss that one. After that, on the end of this month, it's SCARC time. Sonoma County Association of Rotary Clubs, and this time it's going to be up in Healdsburg. This is one you won't want to miss, is that Elizabeth is, been chairwoman for the Alice. You'll find out more about that when you get there, but has been on the United Nation Council. She's an entrepreneur, a mother. She's a very inspirational speaker, and about 2 or 3 years ago, Chris was just reminding me that she was up at Ukiah as our keynote speaker for the district conference, so one not to be missed. So very inspirational person, and I hope you get a chance to go. We had 12 people come to the last meeting. Wow, and that kind of my budget, I was thinking about it. So what I'm going to ask on these meetings, if you would pay half, this is a $50 meeting. The club will pay half for you, so if you can find in your heart to contribute towards your meal, $25 would be your share. If you want to go, we'll have to let Gail know quite soon. Gail, when do you need to have feedback from people? Next Thursday, by next Thursday. So we'll give a final reminder, and obviously it'd be one you'd want to carpool with your friends. Okay, on the 30th, Club Assembly. And remember, we talked about having fun, friendship, and fellowship, and we're going to have some craft talks and some other things. It'll be a great session, so we're going to try to keep it on the light side and have some fun, but this will be one for you to participate with your fellow Rotarians. After that, our county supervisor, David Rabbit, and we don't do political announcements, so it won't be where he's going to be doing a pitch, but I'm sure he'll have a lot of things what's been going on with things at the county level. Last week, you'll recall where we had with the representative for Bill Dodd, and Logan Pitts did, I think, a wonderful job, and I'm sure that David will tell us more things about what's going on to protect us from fires and other things. So I'll be talking more about fires in a little bit. Stay tuned on that. The 10th, our golf tournament, our first fundraiser, and it'd be great if we could raise the better part of $10,000. It's one of the reduced fundraisers that we'll still be doing this year. Presidents always like to have the money come in the first quarter so they can have some spending change. So if we can get some sponsors here, I don't know, Charlie, did you have anything you want to say, or you want me just to run through it? I'll run through it, okay. Well, I don't know exactly which ones you have open, but see, Charlie, about the different opportunities to get sponsorship there. It's really what helps us pay for our tournament. Chad's got some things. Chad,
I'll chime
please,
in
go
real quick.
ahead.
So we do have a couple levels left. They are getting filled. We actually had one fill up this morning. So more importantly, we also need to get confirmation of golfers. I know there's a lot of people that have expressed interest. They said, oh yeah, I'm going to golf. We actually, Charlie and I sat down, filled out foursomes, and I think we only have a few left. So
Okay.
If you do want to get in, get your foursome together if you haven't reserved that spot, and then we'll follow up about payment and get that all resolved. So again, if you have a foursome, or if you just want to golf by yourself, or if you have just two, we can make it all work. Okay?
Okay. Would you allow a fivesome if somebody wanted to? I mean, is that possible, or are we strictly
We can make
foursomes?
that work, yes. we can make
Okay,
that work.
great. Well, I'm so happy to see. Congratulations, both of you. Appreciate that. And relating to that, it is a couple things. Get your foursome signups, and remember to bring that bottle of wine when it comes. So that's kind of a fun part that we do, and we do, auction those off. So do that when we come. Next up, then, August 2nd. Strategic planning, it mattered, and so what we learned about is we're avoiding fatigue on fundraisers. We have the golf tournament, the super raffle, the two big ones, the 3 F's, fellowship, friendship, and fun, more activities and socials, and that's what I want to talk to you about right now. So if you look on your table, you will see some placards there that have two sides. One is our typical things which show all of the meetings we have. The other side, if you flip it around, or you look at the handouts on the table, that it shows all of the different fun things that we've going. So starting off, August 30th, the assembly, September 10th, the golf tournament, September 20th, we're going to be having invite your kids that day, or grandkids, if that's appropriate. So when our supervisor, Mr. Callahan, is going to come speak to us about schools, a great time to bring the kids. We certainly have the honky tonk coming later. We'll have Petaluma Pete talk about that. Then the end of the next month, we'll have a timed speed meet here for our club assembly. We have our friendship feast coming the end of October, and we're looking at maybe having something that, Grace, would you like to speak at all about picnics? Where's Grace?
It is only in the preliminaries right now, but we're talking about a October picnic potluck type thing. Maybe provide the meats, but bring out the whole family. So we'll let you know more on that.
Yeah, so I think that would be great if we can do that before the weather turns on us. And Barb Spangler will be here at November 1st. We'll be over at the Yacht Club, and that'll be a great thing after hours. And then we have a holiday party we're looking at in December. And you can see there's a lot of things going on this year. So pay attention to that. We'll have more on that as they get closer, but we're looking to have more things, more fun, more often. Okay, is Mike Caruana my chief honcho on the Petaluma People Service Center? Do you have any updates? Past President Mike.
Yeah, what's your name again? Oh, yeah, President Michael. Yeah, we, at the Petaluma People Services, so far we had the trees trimmed. The tree limbs were falling on the backyard where we hope to have children enjoying the scenery there. So that was a good idea. And the people who trimmed the trees also volunteered to, at no cost, remove all the blackberry bushes, which was no small feat. There was about a quarter acre of this miserable stuff.
12 to 15 feet high and over 100 feet long.
And
It's
they
amazing.
removed it all. So on October 13th, we're going to have a Saturday work day where we do the rest of the cleanup. And then the place will be ready for these children to use. So hope some of you will be able to participate in that. We'll let you know as we get closer to the date.
Good, thank you. Very good news. A little bit of Rotary math, though, just to kind of go through that, is that, so that was originally going to be a $9,000 project, and Mike was able to negotiate it down to under $4,000. That was an awesome savings. But then for the $3,900, well, we've got two other clubs. Remember, this is a tri-club event, so that's $1,300 per club. And because the district matches half of it or returns half of it at the end of it, we're going to be ultimately in $650 for that part of the project. Now, the overall project, we can go up to $13,000 between the three clubs, paying half of it. So we'll have about $2,250 invested in this project and people's time. Immediate past President Chris Ranney.
Great job on that. That's Rotary math at its best.
As best it is. I'm learning this quickly. Thank you for your instructions there, past President Chris. So that's a little bit about what it looks like. It used to be, I couldn't be taking a picture from where it is. This is kind of a panoramic, but you can see this area all over here used to be all filled up with bushes. Now you can actually see the creek here. And then over on the other side, that's all open. So it's going to give a nice area for kids to be able to play. We're talking about the people going through Child Protective Services, as well as the seniors to be able to use that. Next up, Miracle League. Past President Lee Raposa, is he here with us today? Great. Okay, he's got some exciting news coming up on his project.
Well, President Michael and Club, we are another step closer. We just signed, and funded the first part of our contract with our draftsman to complete the pavilion plans. So I know that if you've gone by Lucchese Center, you've seen a lot of tractors out there, a lot of things going on. This project is moving forward, at warp speed, if you will. So we're excited that it's moving forward. The groundbreaking happened, and now again, it's really happening out there. So we hope to have our drafted plans completed by the end of this week. Or this next week, I apologize, this next week. And then we can get into the city and get our permits, that sort of thing. And they've been very helpful, I'll just let you know. The city and everybody else that's been involved with this project has been very supportive of this. So it's happening, and we're getting there, but it's just, baby steps. So, but right now, once we get past these drawings, it's really going to start happening. You guys will have a chance to see this thing come together. And then I would hope if we, later on when we have an opportunity to do some of the work ourselves, because I know we're going to have Tony Western think about it, there might be an opportunity for any or most of you to come out and maybe help with the project, which would be fantastic. So that's where we're at right now. Chris, do you have anything to add to that? Okay.
Well, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you both, Chris and Lee. They raised over $150,000 in the last 2 years, and they had the first $70,000 went to Miracle League, and now we have about $80,000 left in the bank, not my bank, but in appropriations that is going to be spent for this project, and hopefully we can see a lot of progress this year. Next up, immediate past president. Chris, would you like to come up here? Or Varia, why don't you come on up and tell us some good things about what's been going on?
Thank you, President Michael. Brandon Trammell just asked, is holding a lollipop the same as licking it? No. Okay. Brandon, you said it. Thank you, President Michael. I just wanted to give you guys guys and ladies a brief wrap on some of the accounting and the finances from last year. Overall, we had a wonderful year in terms of the finances. We did well with our fundraisers. We did well with all the community projects. We were able to move forward about $23,000 into Michael's year that would support the dictionaries, the holiday gift party, the holiday gifts, the other events, the youth programs, and obviously what's the other big one the international. So we pushed forward about $23,000. We also moved forward a couple $1,000s to the Petaluma Service Alliance project that is going to happen, so we did that. So we did really well, the fundraisers did really well, and at the discretion of the president, sometimes people get to do other projects. So there's three things that I did. First of all, the Rotary Foundation grant, which that Rick will talk about a little bit, that was chaired by Jane. There were three different grants actually a lot of grants that were funded. Three we wanted to fund, but they asked me as the president if I would do it, and I did. And there was $500, three $500 grants. One went to the Village Network of Petaluma, which is works with a lot of senior citizens right here in Petaluma. $500 went to the Cinnabar Theater for summer camps for youth here in the area. And finally, $500 went to Hope Counseling, especially for counseling services for people impacted by the fires. So those three grants were really the recipients of the Rotary Foundation. We pushed that forward through my year as well. There was about a $5,000 amount that was left over that either could go into the community bank that we have, and I said, well, why do we put it in the bank? Why don't we put it out in the community? So we, as a club, I wanted to do something that I thought we would all contribute or support. So $4,000 went to the West Side Interfaith Food Pantry, and this supports the weekly food distribution efforts of low-income families, seniors, and individuals that's coordinated by 6 of the interfaith congregations here in Petaluma. It's accomplished with zero overhead, and 100% of the work is done by volunteers. So $4,000 went to the West Side, and I'm going to read the letter there from a minute. And then $1,000 went to the Family Resource Center Emergency Fund, which is under the Family Resource Center of the Petaluma Adult City Schools. So $1,000 would go to their fund that would help with gas cards, emergency stuff that people have that is not covered by the budget. Again, 100% goes right to the individuals, and it's zero overhead and 100% by the volunteers. So I just want to let you know about that, $5,000 that I know that all of you would be supportive of. I just submitted that to the board as well, so thank you for that. I wanted to read a letter from Steve and Judy Collins on the West Side grant. It says, Dear Chris, please extend the thanks of all the West Side Pantry volunteers to the members of the Petaluma Rotary Club for the generous donation of $4,000 to the pantry. We serve on average 60 families every week, and each family receives a retail equivalent of about $50 of food each week. This Rotary Club donation will provide about 4 months for food, as we spend between $200 and $300 each week at the Redwood Empire Food Bank. So with my calculations, this means that Rotary donation has a return of $36,000. 60 families at $50 each for each family and for 12 weeks. The congregations that are involved with the West Side Pantry are as follows: St. Vincent's Catholic Church, United Methodist, St. John's Episcopal, Elam Lutheran, B'nai Israel Synagogue, and the Petaluma Islamic Center. The West Side Pantry is at 5:30 every Thursday at Elam Lutheran Parish Church. I invite you and the Rotary Club members to come to observe or even help on any Thursday. So again, I wanted to thank you all for a great year. Thank you all for all of your support of all the fundraisers. And thank you very much. Back to you, Mr. Mike. One more thank you to Rick Mossy and Exchange Bank. I was just at the Cott's Kitchen doing some work, and Rick delivered about 50 pounds of goat and lamb meat from the fair that's going right to the Petaluma kitchen. So thank you very much, Rick. Appreciate that.
Check. Okay, moving on. Next up is something that happens once every year. Past President Rick Mossy is in charge of our foundation. It's a 501(c)(3). We are not. We're a 501(c)(4). And so Rick is going to be giving you his annual announcement according to the bylaws. So come on down.
But I'm going to roll with it. So whether you know it or not, we have a foundation that is under the jurisdiction of this club. It's legally separate, but it is under the jurisdiction, and we're required annually to have a annual meeting with the club. So I'm convening an annual meeting of our Rotary Club of Petaluma Foundation. As members of the Rotary Club, you comprise the membership of the Rotary Club of the Petaluma Foundation. The foundation is managed by an elected board, also from the membership of our club. The board is required to hold this annual meeting to provide the membership with status and financial reports, conduct any business that needs your participation, and hold an election of directors to fill vacating positions on the board, plus any other business that is requested by the membership. Give you a little idea of the status of your foundation. The foundation was created in June 1983 with an initial investment of $15,000 from our club, and over 34 years has grown to what now amounts to an accumulated monetary assets of around $550,000. So it's a sizable foundation for a Rotary Club. Over the years, the foundation has been able to contribute over $250 to local schools and nonprofit organizations, The bulk of these contributions, approximately $160,000, have been handed out over the last 6 years. In October 2011, we moved the majority of our funds from interest-bearing bank deposits, which weren't paying much, to an investment account with Exchange Bank's Wealth Management Department and continue to have our funds invested with them. The board meets once or twice a year with Exchange Bank's assigned investment manager to discuss our portfolio, future directions, and allocation strategies. I do want to tell all of you, you know, you have 2 Exchange Bank people here, myself, Rick Gorman. We're not part of the Wealth Management Division. That's a wholly, there's a firewall between us, so we have no influence there or anything like that. It's just, they're a local, long-term, stable investment manager that takes care of charitable foundations very well. This year's grant program received 123 grant requests totaling approximately $67,000. Both are increases over the prior year, where we received 104 requests totaling $44,000. Our foundation bylaws allow us to annually distribute up to 5% of our total assets. This year, we're giving out 108 grants totaling approximately $25,600 from foundation funds. Last year, we awarded 91 grants for approximately $25,000. Grant requests not funded by the foundation but deemed worthy may be directed to our club president, which Chris mentioned earlier, for consideration, and he funded 3 additional grants totaling $1,500. I really want to acknowledge the work of our grants committee. In prior years, you know, we just scratched along to raise a little bit of money. We have really advanced our game in all areas, and we've continued to do that annually. Serving on the grants committee this year, it was Jane Saldana-Talley. She led it. Judy Allowelt, Maureen Rudder, Rick Gorman, Joe Tamby, Renee Hayes, Chris Ranney, and myself. And I may have missed somebody. If I did, raise your hand out there. I think I've got everybody. This year, you really got to give out special recognition to Jane and Maureen Rudder, and I believe Renee Hayes, if you're out there. I'm not sure who exactly worked on this, who converted a paper-based application process for, you know, over 100 grants to our website and automated the grant worksheet, which greatly improved our prior paper and manual process. They really upped our game this year. It's a significant improvement for us. Lee, for years, had done this, typing in every word and line that he got off a foundation grant into a spreadsheet. This year, it just all uploaded directly into the spreadsheet. Special thanks continues to be in order for Judy Allowelt for her work in doing the letters, making sure the checks are placed in the proper envelopes, running around town, handing them off, mailing them, those type of things. And this year's checks are out, and they're in the process of either being distributed or mailed to all the schools as we speak, and recipients, not just schools. If you'd like to see a list of awards, they will be made available to you soon on our club's website. Just give me a couple weeks to get that done, please. Financial status of your foundation. We hold our money in 2 places. One's our investment account with Exchange Bank's Wealth Management Group. It's roughly 60% domestic and international equities and 40% fixed income. We began the year, our fiscal year starts July 1st with $526,450. We ended up taking out withdrawals roughly about $20,277. Our income earned was $13,319. Our market appreciation was $22,261, resulting in an ending investment balance of $538,824. Our annualized performance for the past fiscal year was 7.01%, and performance since we put the funds with the Wealth Management Group about 6 years ago was annualized about 7.78. Our market appreciation over that period is over $127,000. We also maintain a small operating checking account, also at Exchange Bank. This is insidious here. And we use it to just basically collect donations, award the grants, and pay our operating expenses. We began the year with a balance of $12,209. We transferred $20,000 in from the investment account to fund last year's grants. We collected $7,755 in donations, primarily from the club. $5,000 of that you all donated directly just from club earnings over the years. The other $2,755 was many of you making donations directly to the foundation. We appreciate that. And we awarded the aforementioned $25,000 excess in grants. We had operating expenses of roughly $3,186. We ended the year just about the same way, balance of $12,563 in the checking account. We've got to do a little business to replace directors who've termed out. So to give you a little overview and reminder of that, the board is comprised of 14 members. 9 directors are elected by you, the membership, and 5 are officers of the club. The names are available on the club's website. The 9 directors serve 3-year staggered terms, which means at each annual meeting, we elect directors to fill the open positions on the board. Each director may serve a maximum term of 9 years. To fill the vacating positions on the board has directed me to place in the nomination the following names. I'm going to place in the nomination to replace James Burleson, who termed off the board, Tani Tasconi to become our CFO for the foundation. I'm also going to ask you to vote on the fact that Rick Gorman reached his first 3-year term. I don't know if we really need to vote on this or not, but I'll put it out there. And I'd like to re-elect Rick for a second 3-year term. And I also reached my initial 3-year term, and you need to re-elect me for another 3 years, or you won't have a foundation president. It's a high-paying job. Anybody want to compete for it? Are there any other nominations for directors for the Foundation Club? Do I have a second on that? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That's how we operate in the foundation, you guys. It's your foundation. It's well managed. We're doing great. We'll continue to expand what we put out there. Give you a little idea of who the officers and directors are. I'll continue as your president. Tani Tasconi will be your CFO. Gail Cottaropoli is your foundation secretary. She's that by virtue of being the club secretary. Your elected directors continue to be Judy Allowelt, Maureen Rudder, John Zimmerman, Jane Saldana-Talley, Brian Breen, Gary Brody, Rick Gorman, and based on their positions in the club, we're also served by Michael Nisler, Chris Ranius, past president, our president-elect nominee, and our future president-elect nominee. Appreciate your continued support. We don't focus on competing with the club for fundraising. However, I do want to remind all of you, if you want to contribute directly to the club's foundation, you can. We'll receive it directly from you. You can give a check to Tani Tasconi. She'll transfer it over to us. And so we thank you for your support, in addition to what Chris talked about. Your club's putting $25,000, $26,000 annually out there into the community to help a lot of educational groups and also some other nonprofits. So with that, I'll adjourn the annual foundation meeting and just say thank you to all of you. Okay, I'm gonna wear 2 hats today. So the second one is, I'm gonna move away from the podium here because I'm not gonna read. I'm just here to announce, as a past president of the club, I have been leading the nominating committee for our future presidents, and we're gonna have a change. Due to life events, work, family, a changing environment, Danny Fish has asked to be released from his commitment to be our incoming president. So the nominating committee has been meeting over the last month, and we've had numerous rounds of cocktails and meetings and discussions and emails, and this is a tough one because we're already in Michael's year. We've got 11 months. We need a person who can step in short order. This is an extreme example of service above self. We have selected an individual. They've discussed it with their family. They would like their name placed in consideration to be our president nominee. And I'm proud to announce that the person who stepped up on behalf of your club is Elias Husare.
Well, now how about that? This is someone that I recall is that did a lot of hazing for me. I thought that, a president, when they come in, that they wouldn't have to worry about their gavels and microphones and the bells until, they started in July 1st. But Elias, I'm so happy that it's you. I've been I'm praying for this event. So Gina, I know, is going to be great there. And so a couple things. Okay. Amen. So, at any rate, I wanted to get back to Elias, but for a moment I want to talk about President-elect Danny. He was over in Hawaii, and he had quite a few weeks to think about it. They were on their anniversary, and it was with a lot of consternation that he made this very serious decision. But he's back now, and so we were glad to finally get his turtle, his replacement, and so he last Wednesday became a proud grandfather to Jacob Tyler, and there's he and Debbie. So they're back in Santa Rosa. Things are looking really great for them. For the last weeks I've been talking about the Larka fires, and we've heard it the previous years, and at some point we've heard this in the paper, and so much it's easy for us to get to be numb to it. Despite all the good things we've gone out, we've given all the checks, we've met with the people, we've tried to nourish them, and we've been personally touched ourselves. But there's more. Danny and Debbie have a spot in Lake Pillsbury, a cabin up there that's been in the family since before Danny was born, a great getaway. They have a lot of friends up there, and that's what it looks like today. On Monday was his birthday, and he got the announcement. They were able to get in early and get some things, but he does no longer have a home up there. It's burned down. His neighbors, two lifelong friends, their homes are gone. As you may have heard, right in that area was where a fireman from Utah lost his life. A tree fell on him, so this is serious stuff. Danny, though, he's still one of us. Although he's not going to be as a member, he's still going to be one to help out with the crab feeds, with the barbecues for the farmers and merchants nights. If he can help out with the golf tournament things, he still wants to participate, even though he's made this big life-changing decision. So we thank him for the opportunity to serve, and he thanks us for the opportunity to serve with us. And he says, if you want to call him, he'd be happy to do that. And so his number, what you would expect, is email fishpondwest@gmail.com, or if you want to call him, a lot of threes in it, 393-8763. So he'd love to hear from you. So he's not dropping out of sight, but at any rate, I wanted to let you know about that. President-elect Elias, 2019-20, he's got the pets coming up on March 8th through 10th. Start writing this stuff down. Elias is coming soon. You're going to get the holy water too. And so, have you started your German lessons? Ed can help you with this, but because you will be going to Hamburg, Germany on June 1st through 5th for the Rotary International Convention. If you want to, club will pick up the tab for that, so hope you can do that. Being German of my descent too, we have a lot of beer and we eat sauerkraut, but if Gina's going to come with you, just be careful under the sheets, it's like too much of this odoriferous food. Be careful with that. So, anyway, sounds like you've got, think about it, President-elect Elias. President-elect Elias. Sounds like some kind of a campaign slogan, or like you're running for office, but you've got the position. And so I would just like to say, on behalf of the Rotary Club, we're so happy and pleased that you're taking this. So say we un, so say we all, so say we won, so say we all, so say we won, so say we all. So thank you once again, Elias. Very appreciative. And now it is time for some stewardship. No fines in this club anymore. The stewardship, I think, Mike, do you have something to say? Mike Stauber? I think you have, do you not have a grandchild also coming into town? Okay, do we have a microphone for him? Not, I will take this one. Go ahead.
Thank you. Anyway, had a little girl. My daughter's third child. This is the first girl we've had in our family, you know, of all my grandsons. So we are very excited about that. I've never seen so much hair on a little baby before. But anyway, our whole family is extremely excited about it, and yeah, I'd be happy to do what I've done for all my other grandkids, $100.
Wow, thank you, $100, wonderful, woo-hoo. I know we're running a little late on the time. Dave, Barbie Arias can be heading out of town, so David, would you like to tell us about your travels? I haven't seen you for a while, and I guess you're going to hit the Dusty Trail. I think you went East Coast, and maybe you're going to go even farther this time, not in your RV, so tell us where you're headed.
Yes, my younger brother has asked us to join him on a trip to England and Scotland for about 2.5 weeks. We get back from that for about a week and a half and follow up with my older brother on a cruise going up to Vancouver.
Ah, love it. So before you pass it off, I mean, that's all very well and good, but are you feeling some stewardship on this? Any gratitude? Or
No.
yeah, what's your emotions on this? I'm just kind of curious. Do you feel a calling to?
Well, how about $50?
$50 a going. Well, thank you. Okay. I've got a couple other names. Oh, I'm sorry. Incoming President-elect Elias Husseri. Please.
I do like the sound of that.
It does have a wonderful ring to it.
I'm not volunteering to be fined or choose to be fined, but anyway, I already met my fine quota as you killed me
Yes,
last time.
thank you. I mean, there's the foundation. I mean, Rick would be happy to take some foundation money.
So I'm going to go a little off tangent here. We're sitting here, I have a really good view of your car. And I know you're tech savvy and everything. So if you Google, or actually just go on Amazon and Google like car shades, I bet they would have something that's much easier to work. I don't know.
Is it not patriotic?
We're just.
Do you not see red and white and blue? Thank you for the, yes. Well, here's the deal. My wife says, you know, we need to have a Siberian Husky, you know, and so, you know, if it's like the laws these days, if they see something inside the car, if it's cool or not, you know, they want to break your windows and stuff. So I can't tell you what's in there. There might be Huskies. Who knows what's in there right now? I don't know. There might be something, it might be cloaking is what's going on. I'm not sure, Elias. It might be, oh, my bell. Well, how about that? That's the warm terms. Here's another microphone here. Elias, we have no shortage of microphones here.
No, I'm good.
Oh, you're good? Okay, yeah, I know technology. We're going to have to teach you technology, so.
Press the button.
Okay, anything else before I proceed?
No, I mean, just, so you're not growing anything in there?
Charlie's going to talk about cash crops in a future meeting, but not today. Okay, thank you. So I guess, Kip, I'd like to talk to you another week, Kip, but we're out of time. And for Brian, Breen, also save it for another time. We'll talk about stewardship, but we're kind of short on time. So we're going to go right into the raffle. And do we have any paperwork here to go? You got the names? Okay. Why don't you have Mike Stauber get a name there? Okay, go ahead and read it out, or you want to take it up to me here? Maybe I should, because I've got the mic. And the lucky, oops, sorry about that. The lucky number is, last digits, 2711. 2711. And I think we have $150. Does anybody, we have a winner! Okay. And we've got lots of blue. We've got some brown. And go for it, Rick. Do you feel lucky? Oh, he's looking for the warm one. It is a blue. Well, blue, we still have some more Pinot for polio wine. So, Rick, thank you very much for your contribution. Okay. Okay, finally, we got to keep this thing going. Petaluma Pete, John Maher. You know, I think we all probably know John. He's kind of like a Mr. Petaluma type of guy, but he's got a lot of credentials, community advocate, tourism ambassador, He's obviously a name that we associate with our legacy, and as he will talk about, the mayor had said, we're going to have a Petaluma Pete Day. How about that? A day named after one of our citizens here. And so September 15th, the Honky Tonk Day, which we're going to hear about, and the idea of taking our, what I like to call it, the blighted area, which needs to be improved downtown, and he has a great vision. So we do community service. John's all about community service. As you've heard me talk about my 4 M's, among them mentorship, marketing, meetings, and he is certainly someone to be admired in that. So I think you're going to learn a lot from this. I'm sorry we got started late, but John, it is up to you. Come on down. No mics, huh?
First of all, my name is John Maher, M-A-H-E-R, but I will say that's a very common mistake, and oddly enough, my son went to Berkeley College of Music for 4 years in Boston, and in his dormitory was also John Maher, M-A-Y-E-R, the John Maher, and my son helped him through his studies. That's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, and that's no big deal. It happens all the time. But very quickly, I have 2 videos to show you. They're short, one's longer than the other, but they're informative. They're out there right now. And I will preempt this by telling you that my bride went through a bout of cancer, which was pretty serious for about a year. And during that time, I was a full-time caregiver, which I sort of am now, but nowhere near like it used to be, and thank God for that. And so one night I was out playing while my daughter was in taking care of Mom, and I heard some screaming going on back behind Central Market. I thought that was rather strange. I play, for those of you who don't know, I play every Friday and Saturday that I can out next to the Central Market, underneath the clock tower area there. And so I went home that night and I told Brenda about it. We went to bed, and I always back then tried to stay up when she was up, and then because she fell asleep at 3 in the afternoon, I'd get the sack so I could fresh, when she woke up. And one day the phone rang, and it was a local merchant, who I will not name. And this merchant wanted me to move one of my pianos away from the front of her store, and I said, no problem, I'm happy to do that. I was like dead asleep. And she goes, well, that's not quite enough. She said, I'm becoming very concerned about the landscape of our town. I'd like you to remove all the pianos from all over town. And I said, well, I didn't know you were Queen of Petaluma, but I will, I promise I'll take care of the one piano. She said, well, I guess I'm just going to have to take it up with the city manager. Okay. And she did. So I'm sitting out there really kind of like this. And usually when I'm playing, if a kid comes up, a little kid or whatever, we like to make them dance and have a good time. And I just felt like saying, get out of here. And then this whole screaming thing started, and I went back there, and what the people were screaming at was rodents going back and forth between the river and the dumpsters. And that's when the epiphany hit me. And that was, I looked out into that turning basin, and I thought to myself, look, I'm just I'm a marketing director, but right now, I'm retired, I'm just a piano player, what can I do to help? And that's what this is all about. I looked at the silt, I looked at the trestle, I looked at light, this is what I looked at. I thought to myself, Europe, towns in Europe, if they've got rivers running through them, I've had people from Prague church to say to me, if you've got a river running through your town, man, you've got a competitive edge, right? And if you go down there now, what you see is light. What you see is the back of buildings. It's just crazy. So I took it on. Okay. So the first video that's not.
It's been 10 years now since I first dragged a piano out and started playing on the street next to the river here in Petaluma. And in 2017, I was honored to be voted as Petaluma's Good Egg. And that same year, I was also honored by the mayor, who officially made September 15 Petaluma Pete Day going forward, and I feel humbled, and I feel grateful, and I feel the need to give back. It's no secret that our turning basin needs a lot of help. But the nice thing is that we have, first of all, a Chamber of Commerce that is stepping up and taking a leadership role, for which I thank them. So why don't you just settle back and come with me just for a minute to see how we are going to use live music and pianos on the street to help raise money to help clean up this turning basin. The time has come to help our beloved city of Petaluma clean up and fix up our Petaluma River Turning Basin, which has fallen deeply into disrepair. Don't get me wrong, while high-ranking officials much smarter than I are working with organizations like the Army Corps of Engineers and the Federal Emergency Management Agency for long overdue dredging of what has now been nicknamed Siltigan's Island, an awful pile of silt that is discouraging big-dollar yacht visitors, and making vital barge deliveries less profitable while deeply hurting Petaluma's economy, our economy. We also have the need to clean up where the land meets the water, to build a recreational boat rental float house for our families, to repair the iconic, historic Petaluma River trestle, and to ultimately build what has been dubbed a 360-degree downtown Petaluma River Promenade, all in an effort to put more heads in beds and more feet on the street by turning what is currently downtown Petaluma's worst eyesore liability into our best money-making asset. So the first thing we need to do is create community awareness about this downhill spiral before we can make any positive progress, because if we are not aware, we will not care. And the best way to create this awareness is through the employment and enjoyment of live music making, something everybody loves anyway. Therefore, with the ultimate goal of building a 360-degree downtown river promenade, we are going to kick off the initial awareness aspect of this campaign by capitalizing on what has become a wildly popular placing of vintage pianos all around town for our children and their parents to enjoy, all painted with a fresh Petaluma River theme by local high-profile artists like Elise Dernberger, the painter who creates your Cruisin' the Boulevard tribute to American Graffiti the movie posters, and famous artist and muralist Ricky Watts, known for his incredible mural on our Phoenix Theater, along with other great artists to be announced, with each piano sponsored by a Petaluma area business. Sponsoring businesses will benefit from scheduled media press releases, scheduled social media posts, scheduled pedestrian painted piano tours, and scheduled live music events right along with this unique and unforgettable goodwill feet on the street exposure to local Petalumans and also to visiting tourists throughout the summer, culminating with Petaluma's first ever Bay Area Honky Tonk Piano Competition fundraiser on September 15, the same date that our Petaluma mayor formally proclaimed as Petaluma Pete Day, featuring incredible stride piano players like David Dodd and Michael McQuilkin, creator of the McQuilkin Family Music Hour, and other gifted Bay Area honky tonk ragtimers to be announced. There's also going to be a honky tonk piano competition category for our kids only to help support music education in our schools and the Petaluma Music Festival. This exciting live music making competition will take place at the DeCarly Barn Save the Trestle performance stage in combination with The Block Petaluma Food Trucks and Beer Garden right across the driveway, with the ultimate goal of building a 360-degree downtown Petaluma River Promenade. If you want to learn how to be a sponsor, send an email message to this address.
Okay, that was good. Would you like to take some questions now?
Yeah, I got another video, but if anybody has any questions now, I'm certainly happy to answer them. But now we'll just carry on.
Who actually owns the trellis?
Okay, before I answer that, I want to make something clear, and that is, as I said in the video, I'm not smart enough, and I am not connected enough to actually be involved in whatever the federal people are doing, and the big companies that own this or that. I am a promotion director, that's what I do. I understand the trust was owned by the SMART organization, and the intricacies and the back and forth between the government and everything else is A, none of my business, okay, and B, something that I really am not qualified to even get involved with, but I'm real good at getting messages out there, and that's what this is about. So when people ask me those kinds of questions, I usually say, ask John. Okay. The gist of this video is that if people are not aware, they won't care. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do here, is just simply heighten awareness of the fact we got a problem, and we got to do something about it. And this is a long-term, 10-year plan, in my humble opinion. Because I am retired now, this is my life work. And Brenda and I are just fine. We live on 5th Street. We can see downtown. We got our little bungalow. We got our savings. We're just fine. So my focus is this for the rest of my life, as far as I'm concerned. So, you know, a 360-degree promenade, that's going to take a long time and a lot of money. You know, but you got to start someplace. That's what this is about. Now, this culminates, as it said in the video, and I'm sorry.
No, that's not.
Anybody else? This culminates, and it's going to be an annual event, I hope, with the Honky Tonk Piano Competition. And on your tables is the poster that promotes that. And surprisingly enough, I really did not expect this to be what it is already. I honest to God did not expect it. What I did is I called every piano teacher in town, and I said, you got any gifted kids who might do this? And of course everybody has. That's one kid. Whoa, do I ever. But then I called my friend David Dodd, and the fellow at the top there, who's Michael McQuilkin. And Michael McQuilkin is the fellow who got John Allaire to come in. John Allaire is Van Morrison's piano player. John Allaire smokes. He's just unbelievable. But the qualifications and the credentials of these people here, the youngest one is Scott, who is 28. The oldest is Aldo. He is 86 years old. Almost played in the Catskills years and years ago. This guy is so great. So anyway, the second video then will show you a tour of that poster, and then we can take it from there.
Hey kids, Petaluma Pete here, and we are in downtown Petaluma. Want you to round up your adults and bring them to this screen, because we are going to learn about a new event that's going to help clean up this turning basin. So it's a guided tour of this poster that's going to be all over town. I want to show you this poster, and we're going to give you and your adults a tour. So if you want to know more, come with me. Back in 2017, Petaluma's Mayor Glass officially proclaimed September 15 as Petaluma Pete Day. In return, Petaluma Pete did his best to say thank you to Petaluma by distributing 12 artist-painted pianos around town for pedestrians to enjoy as a fundraiser to help clean up and fix up the deteriorating Petaluma River Turning Basin. Lagunitas Brewery jumped on board and sponsored all 12 pianos, culminating with Petaluma's first ever honky-tonk piano competition, which is scheduled to take place on, you guessed it, September 15, Petaluma Pete Day, at the new, very cool, family-oriented gathering spot called The Block, Petaluma, where you will be blown away by the mega-talented special guest appearance of Van Morrison's keyboard player, Mr. John Allaire, and then witness some of the Bay Area's most gifted kids and grown-up piano warriors battle it out for trophies and prizes. The kids' junior level competition starts at 3 o'clock, featuring 12-year-old Rebecca Heisen, who also loves acting, dancing, and competitive skating, along with Kieran Lisker, age 10, who owns a guinea pig and makes jewelry. Then there's third grader Kieran Aladina from Tiburon, California, and Hudson Cook, who loves that boogie-woogie, along with Elias Leventhal, age 12, who digs the Beatles and hanging out with his cat Emma, and finally 12-year-old Zachary Fuente, who plays ragtime and cinematical compositions. On the adult side of things, kids, which starts at 5 o'clock, you will be amazed at the piano wizardry of Michael McQuilkin, director, composer, and founder of the McQuilkin Music Hour, followed by master of improvisation Jamie Parker, And then Royal Conservatory of Music graduate David Holt, who will also be going up against fantasy recording artist Margan Olk. Improv-based composer Rob Catterton, with 2 albums under his belt, will also be appearing, followed by the incomparable Roger Corman, who has accompanied jazz greats such as Joe Pass and Louis Bellson. Next, local Petaluma piano man David Dodd, librarian by profession, a huge Max Morath fan, will be going up against 28-year-old keyboard master Scott Foreman, and last but not least, Petaluma's very own 86 years young classically trained Catskill musician Aldo Garibaldi will bring his experienced piano chops to the party. The judges for this competition, kids, will include board members from the annual Petaluma Music Festival, whose goal is to help support music education in our schools, and your adults can either make advance $10 ticket donations on eventbrite.com or donate $12 at the door, all benefiting the nonprofit connected with the Petaluma River Promenade. Did we mention Petaluma's very own John Allaire will make a featured artist appearance? Did we mention this event is brought to you through the generosity of Petaluma's very own Lagunitas Brewery? Round up your adults, kids, and bring them to the Block Petaluma on September 15, and we'll see you there.